Hey everybody, welcome back to the Run.down. It's me, Tyrese, joined by Luca at Knicks tape __ on Twitter. Knicks win another really good game, 125-109. Great performance from Jalen Brunson. 32 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Really good team effort all around. Just a lot of positives to go around. There was a Julius Randle injury in the fourth quarter where he wasn't able to come back to the game to take free throws. It looks like to be a shoulder or a pec injury. Waiting for more information there. But more positives than negatives to take away from this game. Luca, how are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling good, man. Huge dub. It sucks that the Julius injury soured it a little bit, but he had a huge three to go into the fourth quarter, put us up three. And I thought he played with super good energy the whole game. OG was once again phenomenal. The middies are super interesting. Like, I don't think he's missed one in the last two games. He hit a couple against the Nuggets. He hit a couple more tonight. Grimes had a really good start to the fourth quarter. I think he hit 2 threes and a layup in like the first 4 minutes to help extend that lead. It's just a feel-good win against a team who I don't know a lot of Knicks fans like. So
Yeah. Before we get more into the show, ad read. It's playoff time on the road to Vegas. Goes through San Francisco and Baltimore. BetOnline is your number one source for playoff football odds, stats, trends, and lines, with everything from point spreads to hundreds of player performance props. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right. Now that we got that out the way, yeah, I mean it has to start with Jalen Brunson, heart and soul of this team. 12 of 22 from the field, 4 of 8 from three, 4 or 5 from the free throw line. Just incredible efficiency, incredible game from him. They had no answer for him. It looked fairly effortless too. Like a lot of the shots that he missed didn't feel like they were really contested or tough for him. They kind of just felt like he maybe overshot it or undershot it. It was just incredible to watch him carve them up. And given the playoff performance he had against them last year, the regular seasons he's had against them this year, like the guy just looks to be operating at such a level right now that it's like it's hard to see this team really having an answer for him. Like all-star starter capable. He won't get first team, but I think he should be vying for first team All NBA right now. Honestly, like
yeah,
he might be in that conversation, dude.
he doesn't have the name value though. Still, that's why he didn't get
I'm
more
sorry,
than
you cannot put Tatum over him right now.
who per Begley just now. Julius's shoulder is being currently evaluated by New York Knicks medical staff. Asked how concerned he was, Tom Thibodeau said very.
Oh god. I mean, that
Just
might
hoping
be
for the
Tibbs.
best, man.
I'm hoping Tibbs is just kind of posturing. He did say, but you're concerned anytime someone gets hurt, you hope for the best. If he's out, next guy get in there and get it done. So
Yeah.
okay, so it might just be a situation where like he's kind of just being Tibbs. Hopefully it's not too big of an injury. Hopefully maybe it's a couple weeks. Just gotta wait for more news. But yeah, going back to Brunson, just straight up like I I I think right now he's been playing at the level of a top 5 player in the NBA. It's hard to find many guys who have been doing more than he has and who have been putting up the performances that he has because he's just been doing it so effectively, so efficiently, and as a lead ball handler in the NBA, which is the harder job to do.
Yeah.
So I think he'll make second team guaranteed. I think he has a chance to make first team depending on how the rest of the season shakes out. But this guy has just been incredible. No turnovers against that defense is insane.
I think we only had like 6 as a team, right?
7, and half of
That's
them were Julius. More than half of them were
super
Julius.
good.
So,
Okay.
so like, yeah, but
that's a really good sign in of itself because I think we probably had like 26 assists, something like that.
25.
I'm gonna check now. Yeah, so 25 assists to 7 turnovers against a team with good defense or at least a good defensive reputation in Miami. That's a big deal. And we did it super efficiently too. 52% from the field, 52% from three, 69% from the line, but Grimes missed 4 on his own. So
Yeah, and OG missed 2. So
yeah.
That's most of the missing right there. But yeah, man, just very clean basketball from the team. I guess we can also talk about OG as well. 19 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. 4 assists, which is really good to see him do stuff as a passer. His ability to just kind of recognize defenses and carve them up, not with like dribble moves or the ability to like, break down a defense, but his just ability to process this game and the ability to just make quick decisions was so impactful for spurring that fourth quarter, and pushing the lead on the second quarter when he was with the bench unit. His mid-range game is very interesting to note. Because that's a new element that he's added to his game this season. Because beforehand, he wasn't really that potent, but this year he's been shooting it at 47% for the Raptors, 50% for the Knicks. And he's getting a couple opportunities per game to just get to that spot 15, 12 feet away, and he's been draining them, and it's been cash. So it'll be very interesting to see how much he's able to grow. But if the plan for him is just, hey, you're a spacer on offense, but you have a dribble or two to just get to that spot and you're hitting that shot at a very high level, that changes his ceiling so dramatically that I don't think that people are really like understanding that his ability to have a mid-range shot, like that's a 20 point per game barometer. Legitimately. Like if you gave
his baseline is already like 12 points. He hits like 3-4 threes a game anyway.
Yep. So like, and his efficiency is nuts. So if you're just giving him a situation where it's like you can have your spot up threes, you can have your transition opportunities from your steals, and you're a really, really good finisher. And now you have the ability to just like come off the curl and just like 1-2 pull up. That is really, really scary. And again, like 19 points tonight, 26 points the last game. You see him taking more of an offensive role, and you see him doing more things, getting to the basket, drawing free throws, being able to put more points on the board. And I think a lot of people said that it would take time for him to kind of get into the offense, but now that he's feeling himself and now that he feels comfortable, like sky's the limit for him. We already know what he does defensively, but offensively, this guy just kind of feels like he's putting it all together right now, which is really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also raises the ceiling of the team a ton, right? Because he is getting these minutes with the bench, and previously Tibbs has asked Grimes, or well, he hasn't asked him to, but Grimes being able to create off the dribble for himself and for teammates has been a thing that could raise the ceiling. But if OG is doing that for him and he can just be focused on spacing and knocking down his threes and attacking closeouts and all that, his workload on offense gets a bit lighter. And so does Hart, right? Because nobody really likes when Hart does a bunch of self-creation because it doesn't look pretty. But he was incredible tonight. He had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and it was a plus 30 in 32 minutes.
Yep.
Like it really doesn't get much better than that. That is that's a Josh Hart stat line. And it's nice that we're seeing him more recently, especially given how slowly he started the year. But I mean, like we've been saying, man, the addition to OG just opens up so much more for the offense and just the teams. It just raises the team ceiling tremendously.
If Josh Hart can fucking play like this, not even like all the time, just give me like 75% of this kind of performance where not even the points, but just the impact where he's just getting after it defensively and he's just making life difficult. Like this is the Josh Hart that we traded for last year. And that kind of spurred that 9-game winning streak to start the season, to start his tenure, and then like led the Knicks to be one of the best teams following his acquisition. And he can do it. Granted, with the knee situation, it might not be an every game thing, but like if he's able to get up like this against the teams that we really need him to get up against like this, then this guy is just incredible. He justifies the contract. I think people have said it's an overpay. I don't understand that logic because, like, to be fair, the cap is rising. I think people don't understand what 20 million is nowadays, but like that guy is worth that money when he plays like this. And his impact is just it's larger than EPM, it's larger than numbers. Like the ability to just give energy to your team cannot be quantified, but like the plays that he makes, the hustle that he plays with is just infectious and it makes teams and guys better. And once again, like he's just showing it. He's showing you again how valuable he can be to this franchise and why he's going to be here for a pretty long time, I would say. So great game from him. He's able to hit his threes. He had that one nasty three in the fourth quarter.
He's always going to hit some bullshit at the end of the shot clock.
Yep. I cannot believe. It was so saucy too, and it looked like it was saucy in the way Josh Hart can be saucy, where it's like you're kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
And then it just goes in. You're like,
and it goes in. You're like, you know what? Fine. You want to take that shot? Go ahead. So great from Josh Hart. I also want to give Miles McBride a bit of a shout out as well. It won't look pretty in the box score doesn't look the best, like 9 points, 3 or 4 from the field, but he honestly gave us some really good moments. I think the third quarter kind of did him in and made his numbers look worse than they actually should be. But like, he is playing so well. If he could just get a floater, I think him with a floater is like better than Peyton Pritchard, and they just signed him for $4 million a year for the next 3 years. So like, he's a floater away. I think he's a floater away from at least being like a really, really solid rotation piece and a guy who's able to like get to his spots, like because he has a mid-range game. He has the ability to like finish through traffic. You saw it again tonight where like he was able to get that really high shot to go in over, I don't know if it might have been Jaquez or
I think it was Duncan.
Yeah, it's one of the Miami white guys. They all kind of get lost in the shuffle, but he's been playing really well. I think his defense has been really solid. I think he just needs to get a little bit more confident, but you see him gaining confidence as he gets more time and as he gets more reps, and he's just been super efficient with his touches, and that's all you want to see from him. He's a floater away, in my opinion.
I mean, I would still love to see, like, it would have been so nice if we still had Quick, because I really do, I'm not like low on Deuce as a point guard, but I do think he pans out to be more of a 2 in the NBA if he's going to be getting rotation minutes, just because of his slight lack of handle and burst, and obviously the lack of the mid-range game. But like you were saying, he's been super impressive, right? And it almost like, I don't really care for these talks myself because I don't want to trade anybody right now, but it almost begs the question, like, it might just be a Deuce versus Grimes thing for the last guy, or for the 9th man, I guess you could say. Because hopefully we're going to bring in a secondary ball handler to help the bench, because it still does get a bit sluggish at times, even with OG operating super well in the mid-range and Grimes and Deuce playing better since the trade. But yeah, I just hope neither of their minutes get cut. I don't know if Tibbs would extend man rotation, but whoever we bring in, I just hope it's a tough, or it's a long shot, but I just hope neither guy's minutes get cut because they're both super important to this team, and it's just showing more and more as the games continue.
Yep, I don't know if Grimes is going to be here for the long haul, but like at least for this season, just talking about this season, I still think he should get rotation minutes. I mean, you saw it again tonight. 8 free throws because he was just able to like create opportunities that honestly, aside from like OG, nobody else can really create. He just wreaks havoc defensively. He's just able to break up so many lanes. Like he had 1 steal, but so many deflections and such really good defense on Jimmy Butler. And his just ability to shoot, and he's taking steps as a creator, man. It's just really good to see. If he goes 6 or 8 from the line instead of 4 for 8, like it's a significantly better game. But yeah, he's just efficient in all of his touches, and I think he's starting to get back his rhythm, which is really nice to see.
Yeah.
Because there's one point where like he took like no free throws or like 1 free throw for like a good stretch of the season, and it made no sense. But now it's like he's playing with that aggression and his ability, and he's doing what he needs to do, man. And it's just really good to see him because last year was really good, and he just kind of stopped shit to start the year. But now I feel like he's getting it back into a groove.
Yeah, and also his rebounding has been kind of impressive since the OG trade. Like he's just battling for contested rebounds, and he's not necessarily grabbing all of them, but he's knocking the ball around, and it's finding Knicks. So he's doing something right. And like you said, defensively, just I don't actually know his wingspan, but he and OG on the court together, and Hart usually playing with them, it absolutely massacres any offense that anybody tries to run. Dribble handoffs, off-ball action, pick and rolls, everything just gets blown up just because these guys are in everybody's chest and just blowing up actions the entire time. It's super fun to watch. We didn't create a lot of turnovers today, but you could tell how uncomfortable the Heat were getting into their sets, especially later in the game once we started to really lock in defensively. And that's some of the stuff that doesn't show in the box score. Just the ability to wreak havoc and not allow offenses, especially not necessarily great offenses like Miami, to get into their sets.
Yep, like just imagine having to play against Josh Hart, Quentin Grimes, and OG and Anunoby with Deuce McBride. And to be fair, Preston Chua, as clowny
He
as
played
he is,
super well today, I thought.
he's been playing really good defense, and he's been really great on the boards, and that's all you need to do in a top-to-middle offense. So, like, that defense, I think there was a stat yesterday that said that the defense was like 83.7 defensive rating.
I can check right now.
Like, that lineup is insane. Like, that's just so much length and switchability and the ability to generate turnovers. And I think it's an interesting zag when you think a lot of bench units. It's like, okay, let's try to run up the score and let's try to like get offense. And the Knicks are like, no, we're just going to make sure that you don't score.
Yeah, and it's like Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
And that's the thing with that lineup too, right? Because we've been, like we said, we've been seeing more OG self creation, and he can just start trying random shit now because that defense or that lineup defensively is just super, super elite. And I'm sure the minutes haven't updated today or for today's game, but as of is it just not going to show me? As of the previous game, that lineup in 36 minutes has a plus 23 net rating, 110 flat offensive rating, and 87 defensive rating. Like, that's a fucking joke.
That's Alcatraz, dude. Are you kidding?
That is a joke.
Like, yeah, we won't score, but you won't score either. Like, that is legitimately 1960s plumber basketball. Like, it's just nothing but turnovers and grit rock. Like, if you score against that lineup, like, feel lucky.
Yeah. You want to hear something crazier? The Josh and OG duo, with the other three off the court, 47 minutes, 58.1 rating. And a defensive rating of 71.5.
Okay.
You're not scoring on this team. You're not.
Okay, like, so maybe
if you don't have a top five offense, if you don't have a top five offense in the NBA, good luck. Like, you're either not going to score points or we're just going to outscore you.
Yeah. And honestly, if they're able to get one more offensive piece, then like they can outscore you too.
Yeah.
Like we're probably that's the scary thing. Like you get a Brogdon on this team.
I think we're already contenders with just the way we've been playing since the trade. Imagine we have a piece where either Deuce or Grimes becomes like the situational guy.
Yep.
With how well they're playing.
Yeah, just imagine like, oh hey, we have to go to our bench. Let's add which 40% 3-point shooter do you want to play against? Who's a really good defender? Like, you want the big one or do you want the small one?
And even Deuce plays like he's 6'5".
Yeah, like
he's so damn annoying.
Yeah, functionally he's like bigger than he plays, and he's gonna hit his threes, man. Like Deuce being a good shooter changes his ceiling dramatically. Like, you look at someone like Javon Carter. Javon Carter has struggled to stick in the league for more than, like, 20 minutes a game because, realistically, like, his shooting is just so up and down. Mm-hmm. But the fact that, like, Deuce can legitimately be a corner threat, like, it changes how his career is going to go. Like, that guy's going to stick in the league for 10 years just because now teams, you cannot leave him open. So,
yeah. I mean, he's 47% from three on the year. I'd have to assume a majority of that is since he started getting minutes. And actually, I want to see how many attempts it's been. I feel like he's been taking a lot.
Yeah, like he takes a lot. I would love to see his per 100 possessions, but
I can check real quick.
yeah, he's just been on fucking fire, man. And that guy is the fact that he got signed to that contract is such a boon because
Leon masterclass.
he is legitimately an asset.
Want to hear some funny shit? Per
What's up?
100 possessions, he's shooting 46% from three on 11 attempts a game. Like, these just random, not even random, but like, yeah, the players who just spawn in and just become instant rotational pieces for a championship contender is just the most Leon Rose era thing in the world.
Yep.
And it really, honestly, it just speaks volumes to how good of a tenure he's had, right? Because we can say the mismanagement of assets. Like, I don't think so, but some people shit on him for like trading Obi for 2 seconds or trading RJ and IQ. But nothing except the 2020 offseason has shown any reason to not have full trust in him.
Yep. And he was able to pivot off of that offseason quickly, and it led to Jalen Brunson. So
yeah,
he has shown the ability that like he's gonna make stuff work. So I have no qualms about him.
Yeah.
And yet just report from Popper. It says Thibodeau said Randle was with medical staff, just dapped him up and waiting on word of shoulder injury. So
we're
Julius
taking the
is
dap
dapping
up as a
people.
good sign.
If Julius is dapping up people, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So
hopefully, I mean, it's also Julius we're talking about. Like, he tried to shake off 18 ankle injuries last year. Yep. I think, like, if it's not a serious dislocated shoulder, he'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be like couple
fine.
games.
Yeah.
Couple games. I think they'll probably be careful with him just to make sure, and I think the Knicks have enough to like get out of the stretch being like 500 at least. So I'm not too worried about him.
When's the All-Star break again?
February 14th is the last game. 12th to 14th, one of those games.
Yeah. So we have until then. I don't think our schedule's too crazy.
Yeah, like there's no really difficult team that we need to play.
No, it's the best team we play is probably the Magic.
The Mavericks, I'd say.
Yeah, Magic or Mavericks. I mean, Pacers, but like,
no, I don't.
I need to beat the out of the Pacers. I need us to just.
I don't care if Julius plays another game. If he can play the Pacers games and just sit for the rest of them, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like take your how many games do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 9 games until All-Star break. Just play 2 out of 9 and have those 2 be against the Pacers, and we'll probably go like 6-3.
Yep. Yeah.
Get out of here, bro.
Free Gordon Hayward, man.
Hey, that agenda sucks.
No, I support Con on this one. I will love Gordon. Gordon Hayward could play for my team.
I can't do it, man.
I buy his shoes and I can support him on my basketball team. Don't sleep with Gordon Hayward answers. I'm actually not kidding.
It's not it's funny.
Pay dad.
Pay dad. I've actually heard they're decent shoes too.
They're good shoes. That's right. I support you, Con. You're good.
He's got to get his shit off somewhere. Oh, that's funny.
Yep. JK, Brunson clears Butler. That dude is so fake and infuriates me. Takes the Euro so he can get up for this game at MSG, and his team still gets blown up the fuck out by 20. Enjoy your retirement tour. Agreed. Like, you could tell he was actually trying his ass off tonight. And it just shows that, like, he's being such a fucking loser. Like, you could absolutely fucking try against the other teams in the world. Why is it just us? If only Julius passed out to Jalen. I know. It makes me sad. It's just a shame Brunson isn't tall enough to ride the spinning cup, so he's not a real good player. Only short backup players who succeeded in NBA history.
If only.
I know.
So unfortunate, man.
Tyrese roots for every white guy in the NBA. That's the San Antonio in him. You're right. I root for every white guy that's not on the San Antonio Spurs because the team stinks and I won't watch them this year.
No Chetty Osman support?
Fuck Chetty Osman. Are you kidding me? He had like one good layup yesterday.
Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I watched the game.
That's gross. There was so much good NBA on yesterday, and you watched.
It was the last game on.
That's
so
fair.
I watched the game, but Biden Gordon Hayward articles of clothing shows how far we've fallen from the prime NBA. Bro, get you a pair of Gordon Hayward answers and you'll thank me. Like they're actually really good shoes.
I don't trust it, dude. Gordon Hayward, really?
Okay, subtract the name from it. Just like, just trust me on this one, okay? Like, try them out somewhere. I don't know if they don't really sell them like in retail stores, but like, they're fire. Trust me. Imagine being a Bears fan. Yeah, I mean,
I feel so bad. I don't feel bad for Candace Parker. Actually, what she said was just wrong.
Yeah, it's like she was wrong, and then she just wanted to double down on it. I think the entire argument is just dumb, but like clearly the guy had a better second round performance than first round performance. Like he averaged 31 points and 50% from the field, like
while being the only guy to show up for the entire series.
Yep. Like he did. I don't even think he had like a bad. Maybe game 3.
I don't think he was great in game 3. Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, the guy was like easily. He was arguably playing heliocentric ball. Like it was him against the Miami Heat, and they were boxing one at him at one point. Like, what are you doing against that?
It's just a sad hill to die on. Generally, like you don't. I hate that every praise of Jalen has to come with a negative as well. It's so like the only guy who doesn't do it is Perk. Shout out Perk.
Shout out Perk and shout out Charles Barkley.
Yeah, and Chuck. But like, can we just? He's a consensus top 10 offensive player in the NBA. I don't think that's crazy to say.
Yeah.
Like his impact, his efficiency. He's scored 30 in 6 straight games now. 7 straight games, probably.
6 out of 7.
Okay. Like, and he probably hasn't done it in under 50% from the field. Yeah. Or he probably doesn't have a game under 50% when he scores 30. Like, ridiculous efficiency at his size. And it's not like we're losing games either. Like, he's contributing to one of the hottest teams in basketball and putting up the numbers and doing it efficiently. At some point, people are going to have to start recognizing him as an elite player in the NBA.
Yep. And
until
then, he's just going to keep winning. Also, I have to talk about this because I'm shocked that this is a thing this far into his career. Bam Adebayo sucks at offense.
No, he's just not good.
He's not good at offense, and it makes no sense because you would think a guy who can shoot jumpers the way he shoots jumpers, which is like solidly enough for his position, to be a 20-point per game scorer in the NBA, and the guy who gets to the line as much as he does, why the fuck can he not shoot threes in year 7?
Well, he plays like he's 5'8".
Dude, it's insane to me that like he's not even taking corner threes. Like, for all the fucking Heat culture you want to talk about, like, someone like Julius Randle, who came to the league, like, raw as hell, has, like, able to, like, reshape his game and has been able to, like, go from bully ball big to, like, point forward wing who can, like, perimeter shoot and do it adequately. How the hell does he not shoot corner threes at least? Like, you literally cannot operate further than 20 feet out. It's insane.
Julius lapped Bam in offensive ability in like 3 years.
Yes. Yes, like, and look where Julius was in 2019-20, and look where Bam was.
Yeah.
And the fact that Bam is still basically there, and Julius has become baby Kawhi, baby Luka, and now like a hybrid of his New Orleans tenure and
the 2020 season.
Yeah, like for whatever reason, Bam Adebayo just does not take threes. And it literally makes me upset because this guy could be so much better, but he just does not want to do that. And how the hell has nobody told him, like, yeah, you probably should be taking threes because Jimmy isn't going to take them either?
I'm not going to complain. Like,
yeah, I'm not complaining, but it's also just like, dude, that team is not going to, like, they've made the finals twice, but the whole thing has been like, they don't have enough offense. And the reason why they don't have enough offense is because Bam does not want to take threes.
He plays offense like such a loser, man. Like, he does his little post-up bullshit, and then he'll occasionally get, like, the drop-off shovel dunk, and he's like, fucking crazy. And then you look at the box score, and then he has 12 points on 10 shots.
Yep.
Like, no free throws as the number 2, basically the number 1 because Jimmy's been so bad in a basically 20-point loss or 30-point loss to your rivals is disgusting.
Yep. To me, Bam's game has regressed. I don't think he took a single mid-range jumper today. Isn't as strong as he was and hasn't improved the game to be ended to be a rebound and a 2-foot jump shot from Chris Bernhardt. Yeah, like, I think he has regressed, which is why people are like, he's an all-star lock. I'm like, what the hell are you watching? Like, what are you watching? This guy cannot score. Like, he disappears so often, and then he'll have like 30 points against like whatever whack team they want to play that week, but his mid-range jumper is like gone, and most of his shots are just coming off of putbacks.
Yeah. He hasn't scored 25 points in almost a month.
It's, again, how are people saying that he's an all-star lock?
I think people are fooled by the rebounding that he does, and he's a pretty good passer, but it also just depends on how the Heat look that day, because Jimmy, he's basically the number 1 option this year, so he's going to get his counting stats, but he doesn't do any of the things offensively to make him like an elite offensive player. Because that's what the argument for him being an all-star is, right? Like, he's an elite defender, and he's an above-average offensive player for what his build is as a center, and I just don't see it. Like, he hasn't shown me anything to believe that he should be like a number 2 option on a championship team.
Which is insulting because you're a max player, dude.
Yeah.
And you cry to the media about your defense, and it's like, bro, nobody's down on your defense. Your offense needs to like join the party.
Yeah. Like, if he spent as much time working on a mid-range jumper as he did crying to the media about how good his defense is, he'd probably be an all-NBA level player.
It's just like, and again, he's a Republican, so who cares? Registered Republican Bam Adebayo is still taking 20-foot jumpers in year 7. Like, whatever, dude. If that's what he wants his legacy to be, by all means.
Yep. 2 finals appearances, no wins, and no mid-range jumper.
But he's gonna get that first team all defense, baby. That's what matters.
Yep. All defense. It's the accolades, baby.
Yep, he's racking them up.
The player accolades. He's got it.
Yeah. I don't know how Spo wasn't slapping Bam in the head and pointing to the center to the Knicks play it. Like, how do you not just go at them, especially when you were staggered? Bro, Precious Achiuwa is out there fighting for his life. Hart played 15 minutes. It was legitimately just Precious Achiuwa for like 14 minutes at a time. I think he played the entire second, or maybe most of the second quarter. Achiuwa did. Like, come on.
I barely played. You're playing Precious Achiuwa the entire game, and you're giving me 12 points on 10 shots.
Yep.
That's so gross.
Like, and granted, Precious is like battling, but dude, he played 28 minutes tonight. Like, and you're telling me at no point you go, you know what? Let me just go for him.
Yeah.
Sorry, he played 32 minutes. Oh, 31 minutes tonight. I mean, yeah, he was playing so well. Precious did. He was playing so well, they didn't need Hartenstein. So
I was kind of like, Precious has been putting together a very good stretch of games recently.
Yep. I think he's been playing really well. The offense is like kind of hit or miss, but I think he does enough to where it's like, okay, he's not going to miss the shots that he realistically should not be missing. Like, he'll smoke a layup once in a while, and it looks kind of ugly, but he's just doing what he needs to do. And he had like 2 really good looks on like deuce pick and roll opportunities, and he just kind of smoked them.
Yeah.
Randle Woj dislocated shoulder.
I saw that.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of big. That's
Okay.
kind of big.
I will actually take that.
I hope it's no
Like,
fracture though.
yeah, if it's no fracture, okay. I mean, for yeah, okay. Hopefully it isn't too bad.
Yeah, we just gotta pray, man. I
Okay,
don't know. Hopefully they tell us what grade it is soon.
Man, he will he be out like a couple?
Oh, from Woj again, the X-ray didn't show much damage. Source said, and the MRI is coming later tonight. That's big.
Okay. So yeah,
That's huge.
I think it might just be to the All-Star break.
I'm hoping that'll be
Okay.
big.
Oh, if we could just like make it to the All-Star break. Granted, like that's a good lineup. I mean, I don't know who's gonna be the ninth guy.
The only thing I'm worried about is how like Jalen already has a huge burden to carry offensively, but you need Julius's late game scoring when the game slows down. And I just don't know. Like I know OG's shown flashes recently. I don't trust him enough yet to act as like the number 2 guy next to Jalen because I just don't think he has that entire scoring ability because even most of his rim attempts come off like a dribble handoff or a pick and roll. I don't know, man. Hopefully he's not out for that long.
Yeah, I need a timeline. If I get I need a timeline desperately.
Yeah.
If it says like 3 to 5, I will live with it.
If it's 3 to 5, it takes us to what? The first
All-Star.
week back from All-Star break, probably?
Yeah.
That's fine. We can weather that storm. We'll probably go. I bet we could go 5-5 or 6-4 without him.
Yep, I agree.
Or whatever it is.
But yeah. I think that's okay.
That's honestly like almost best case scenario. It's way better than a torn pec would have been.
Yeah, he looked like he was grabbing his pec, and I was like, oh,
that
shit.
terrified me. Yeah.
Yeah, if he tore his pec, it would have been done. But at some point, he should be back, and it looks like it won't be as bad as I think it looked. So, Jaime Jaquez should still not be able to leave the state. So
that was kind of bullshit. I'm not gonna lie.
It was just an unnecessary charge, and it wasn't even.
Yeah.
He wasn't even trying to get the. He wasn't not even trying to get the charge. He just jumped into the lane for no reason. Like that needs to be a flagrant, because that's not respecting the shooter's space, and you're actively like not even trying to contest the shot.
It's so gross that he actually just got away with that too. Like I don't even think they said anything on the broadcast about it. If that was Jimmy, we would not have heard the end of it.
Yep. We didn't hear the end of it last year when Josh Hart stepped on his ankle.
He hurt Jimmy.
And they were
like 8 Knicks last year.
Bam stepped on Julius's ankle. He stepped on Brunson's ankle. He stepped on Quickly's ankle. He stepped on Mitch's ankle. He stepped on like 5 ankles that series. Literally 5
with the screen.
Yep.
It's fucking whatever. We don't have time for agendas. We're winning basketball games.
Yeah. Second unit gonna suffer. I mean, I don't know who you play now. Like, do you play? I would assume Josh Hart is starting.
Oh, and no.
I mean, I'm okay with that. If your lineup is Brunson, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Hartenstein, like, the defense will be great. The offense would be okay. I think it comes down to like who's going to be the 9th guy.
It probably
is going to be Fournier.
It's probably Malachi, right?
I mean, I think it has to.
Because you could go Deuce, Malachi, Grimes, starter, Precious.
I mean, yeah, it'd probably be like Deuce, Malachi, Grimes OG.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing there though would you just need to keep a big guy or a big starter out on the court. Like
you would need
Grimes
one
listed as 6'5"?
6'5".
He can play the 3. I just wouldn't like at this point. If they were going to do that, you can't do the Josh OG thing anymore with that unit.
Yeah.
Unless you slide OG to the 5 and have Josh play the 4. But Tibbs wouldn't do that.
I mean, I would also wonder if this speeds up like their trade timeline.
You'd
I
have
feel
to
like
assume so, right? Because
yeah,
they were
'cause, like,
already looking at, or they've already been rumored to be looking at like every bench creator in the world. Um, and if if we're gonna lose one of the bench creators and Josh to the starting lineup, you'd have to assume that we're gonna make a trade sooner rather than later. Now,
yes, I mean, it might be this weekend.
it might be tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like honestly, I think as soon as we get the timeline news, we'll probably make a trade within 12 to 18 hours.
yeah, I think so. I think it'll still be Brogdon.
I hope it's Brogdon.
It should be Brogdon.
Brogdon or Clarkson. But I think Clarkson would. They would probably ask for Grimes back, and I don't know if I would do that.
I just think Brogdon's better than Clarkson. To be honest, for this team, I think he's better than Clarkson because you don't need somebody like I think you kind of just need somebody who's willing to play that spot up role more than anything, and I think he gives them that in spades. So
I'm just a little bit worried about like we have no guys on the team, knock on wood, who miss a lot of time, right? And
yep,
Brogdon just doesn't play that much.
different
So
Mitch.
yeah, I mean, we get to the playoffs and it's like Brogdon sitting out with a bruised tailbone. You're like, okay. I think I'd rather have the availability, but I do agree. I like Brogdon definitely fits better as a player than Clarkson does.
I mean, like at the end of the day, like you get a guy shooting 42% from three who's 6'6".
Yeah.
So, or 6'5"
And
rather. But
and he
yeah,
plays the bench position that you need desperately. Not desperately, but
yep.
that would make things flow a lot better.
And like he has enough size to where you can slot other dudes around him on the wing. So Press convinced me on Bruce Brown. I just can't get behind Bruce Brown. Because like he doesn't add the offense that they need, and this team needs to get offense. Like they're getting better now because they've had a couple blowout games, but I think they're still like the 13th ranked offense since the trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can live with a 13th ranked offense in playoff basketball. I think you need to at least be top 10, if not top 8.
Yeah, even in this stretch, we're barely inside the top 10 offenses in the last 10 games. I think we're 9th.
Yeah, so like, and those have been blowouts.
Yeah. Like the offense has definitely struggled at points. I'm thinking too, like the Nets game, we had a lot of difficulty scoring the ball in the first half.
Yep. And the bench unit still can't get triple penetration.
Yeah. That's
like, and Josh Hart is trying his best, but like, I don't want Josh Hart trying.
That's the thing that sucks with Deuce is he just doesn't collapse the defense enough to spray out the shooters with how many good shooters we have in that bench lineup.
Yep.
So that's where a guy like Brogdon coming in, he would be able to get that paint penetration and just spray out to 40% 3-point shooters.
Yeah, I think, man, they just need a guy who can break down the defense, and I don't think Bruce Brown can do that for them the way that he needs to, and he also just does not give you anything to score.
It's also kind of like I've seen people advocate for Brown, and they point to his Nuggets tenure where he ran point a little bit. Very important context that people are missing. He played with Nikola Jokic.
Yep.
Which is kind of a big deal, and Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. We don't have Jokic on this team, unfortunately. So that gravity isn't going to be there, or that gravity to play off of, rather, isn't going to be there, especially if he comes in looking to replace some of Julius's offense. I just don't think it's a good fit. It wasn't a good fit before Julius's injury. It's not a good fit now.
Yeah. Bruce has some decent drive per 75 numbers and a nice high pass out rate. Like, yeah, I know he does good as like somebody who could pass out of drives, but like they need somebody when like Brunson or Randle cannot score. They need somebody who could like carry that load. They need somebody who could legitimately give them like 15 if they need it. And that's what Brogdon is in a nutshell, is like 15 points per game off the bench. You need to replace Quickly's role. And it makes no sense for me to like half-ass it because if Quickly was here, this team would be legitimately the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
So
I don't
like,
think it would be close.
so if you could get like 75% of what Quickly was, which is really what Brogdon is, and you can make up for the defense with the fact that like you have fucking OG and Anunoby and Josh Hart and Quentin Grimes and all of this really good defenders with length. And Brogdon is big enough to where like he can still do stuff defensively. He won't be like perfect, but he'll be in the way, which is all he really needs to do. Like the offense is there. He's a better shooter than Quickly, and yeah, I think they should absolutely be trying to maximize that. So
I just hope with whatever trade comes, if one happens, it's nothing more than like Fournier and 2 picks. 2 protections.
I think it'll be like,
I'll say that.
I think I would not do 2. I don't think it'll be 2 protected.
I don't think it would be either.
Because like the Lakers aren't going to get him.
No, not for Brogdon, just generally.
Oh,
I wouldn't trade much more than a Fournier and a pick or 2. If I'm the Knicks, I'm doing my absolute best to not trade Grimes.
They shouldn't have to. I just don't see the market for Brogdon like that. Like you look at the Magic, with the Magic trade like their protected Nuggets pick.
I mean, maybe they have like 98 guards that they're playing.
True, but like Brogdon could probably still slot in for Anthony Black or something.
That's true, but I don't know. I don't know what the front office is thinking, but I'd guess that they're trying to get him run because I don't know how deep of a playoff run they'll make because they just can't score.
Yep, and I mean, like they're bad, like they're just barely above 500. I feel like if you're the Magic, you're like happy. You're like, you know what,
Yeah.
We're where we need to be. We have like an all-star hopeful. Our team is good. Can it be a little bit better? Sure, but like we won't win a first-round series, so I can't see them being like we're going to trade capital.
It just wouldn't make any sense where they're at right now.
Yep. So I think then it comes down to like the Rockets. The Rockets want to get involved, and like I just think that's kind of bait.
The Rockets are sitting at the 11th seed.
There's no way they're actually going to like. They have enough first to maybe they can, but like I don't know why you would want to do that.
And it doesn't make any sense assets wise either. Like you're going to trade for. He has an extra year on his contract? Brogdon does?
Yeah, he does.
You're going to trade for a guy who's expiring next year. They're probably going to give up a better asset than you're receiving, and you're not a playoff team. It doesn't make a ton of sense. And like you said, the market was it felt like it was kind of set with the Terry trade or the Rozier trade to Miami, and they didn't give up anything for him.
I mean, they gave up.
Well, that pick is actually going to be pretty decent.
That's a really good pick.
But he's probably the most valuable guy on the market of those types of guys.
That wasn't DeJounte.
Yeah, because he's
honestly, he probably might be more.
I think he's better than DeJounte.
I think he is, but I think it might have been a wash because DeJounte has more years guaranteed.
Yeah,
could versus Terry, but like it was a wash for sure.
Regardless,
I mean, like
I just don't see us giving a ton up for anybody.
I also just don't know how they match salary.
Yeah.
That's the big thing too. I don't know how the Rockets would match salary.
Because I don't think they don't have a ton of stupid contracts on their books. They just signed Brooks and Van Vliet. They can't trade either of them. I don't know what Jeff Green's contract is.
It's $9 million.
So it's like it would probably be like him and
Oladipo?
I don't know. Is Depot's
on the team? He's expiring.
Okay. So yeah, it'd probably be him, Depot, and like a first or something. You're not trading Tari. You're not trading Jalen Green. You're not trading Şengün. You're not trading Amen. Their team's super young, which means they don't really have a ton of tradable contracts.
Yep.
And the tradable contracts they do have, they just signed. So
yeah, and I don't know. I think hasn't Jeff Green been like solid for them?
He's been good.
I also think he's like their backup big.
Yeah, he is because Tari's been out.
And also, Jock Landale isn't good. So
Reggie's actually there. He's making 11 mil this year.
Who's there?
Reggie Bullock.
No, he's not making 11 mil. He's making 2.
Is he? Is ESPN lying to me?
His 11 might be from the buyout. He might have got bought out.
You're probably right.
Yeah, and then he signed another contract.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, so I
Knicks legend.
I think the Knicks kind of have a pathway to him, and I think it's kind of free
To
because
Reggie.
it's no. Well, I mean, obviously, always to Reggie. Tom Thibodeau will he'll break about himself, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think the Knicks will be able to get him. So
It's a free, yeah. It's like there's no competition, and you would only be outbidding yourself if you were bidding up for him. Because I'm not really, the Lakers, like you said, are probably going to just get DeJounte because LeBron's there, and it seems like he wants DeJounte.
which makes no sense. I don't understand
They're just,
why.
they're
Like I'm gonna
spot.
just like talk about it. Like D'Lo's a better offensive player, and their offense is the problem, not their defense. Like their defense is okay. Their offense is fucking atrocious. Like
I just like it doesn't make any sense because I even think Rui is probably a better asset than DeJounte is at this moment.
I mean, he might
Maybe
be.
not. Maybe
Like
that's a stretch.
Rui's just kind of. Eh.
He's kind of
Rui
just
was
there.
always just kind of. I don't understand why they like were so willing to extend him, but I also think that like they kind of just needed contracts to trade. So I get why they did it.
It's funny how in the mud their offense is. Like AD isn't a great creator. Vanderbilt, Cam Reddish when he plays, Rui, like what are we looking at here?
They just added a bunch of bad offense.
Their roster kind of sucks.
Yeah, like they're the 21st ranked offense and they're the 14th ranked defense. Like, so I think their defense is like good enough. They just need somebody who can like score. But D'Lo is their best shooter, so they're gonna trade their best shooter and get a worse shooter, and their defense gets a little bit better and their offense gets worse.
Yeah,
and they traded a first to do it.
Yeah, and it's an absolute killer that Reeves has been as bad as he's been this year.
It was always gonna happen. It was always gonna happen.
Yeah, no, like I never really got the Reeves hype.
Like he's good, but like he's just not a third guy level good.
It was also kind of obvious that most of his impact was tied to his offense. Like his defense obviously has fallen off a cliff this year, but he's also been as inconsistent as it gets offensively. And when you're trying to play third cog to LeBron and AD, being inconsistent like that just isn't good enough.
Yeah, like I think Reese's problem is he's just like as a shooter he's regressed, but like his 2-point finishing is still really good. Like he's still shooting 60% on twos, which is for a 6'4" guy, like that's insane. But like
no, he's not taller than 6'5". We can't give him credit there.
Okay, fine. But still, like he's only shooting 35% from three after shooting 40% last year, and that's that just won't play.
Like, and he is first percentile in defensive EPM.
God,
at negative 3.3. He's got to be one of the worst defenders in the NBA, right?
Yeah,
he's the third worst defender in the NBA, behind Malachi Branham and Anthony Simons.
I just playing next to LeBron and AD is just such a weird fit.
Yeah,
because you need to be good defensively, you need to be a good shooter, and you need to be able to play on the ball and off the ball, and mostly off the ball.
And he's just not shooting well enough to do that right now.
Yep. Like, ironically, the guy they would need is like Quickly. Like, legitimately, Quickly would be so good for them. But
yeah, I mean, he's going to be good for anybody he plays with.
True.
And yeah, it's kind of funny. This game was just such a wash in the going into the fourth quarter. It's just not even really. There's not even really any talking points right now.
Yeah, it was just like the Heat suck and the Knicks are like on a tear right now.
Yeah, Jalen was on a fucking heater. He scored. We didn't even talk about him in the fourth quarter. He was awesome. He scored 12 in the fourth quarter. I think his only bad thing was he missed a free throw. That didn't really matter. Yeah. But other than that, you can just tell, right? Like I wasn't even really worried in the first half. It was back and forth. once Julius hit that three going into the fourth quarter, I was like, okay, so we just need to lock in for 5 minutes. Jalen will take over it, and we'll just win the game by 15.
And yep, that's what happened.
And look at that. Yeah.
They won the game by more than 15. They won it by 20.
That's a pretty impressive showing, especially in the fourth quarter. We are destroying teams in the fourth quarters.
The second halves of like games, we've just been blowing teams out.
We still should lead the league in net rating in the fourth quarter. I don't think it's particularly close. Let me check, actually. And I can check second half, too, because I'm curious. It's probably not updated for today. But as of the Nuggets game, we have a 10.7 fourth quarter net rating.
What about our third quarter?
Second is the Sixers at 7.2.
Third quarter,
we have a 4.8 net rating. So not as good, and that's 8th in the NBA, by the way.
Okay, so yeah, like the Knicks are essentially like, okay, we make enough adjustments to like get us through, and then the fourth quarter we kind of just blow you out.
Yeah, and
I really think it's like playing with that defensive lineup to start the fourth quarter. It's just making teams gassed. Like you have to fight over all of that length, and you have to play so like points are so precious, and then the Knicks just kind of come in, and it's like Brunson and Randle have been resting, and then they just like go.
Yeah, like teams are spending 15 seconds getting into their sets because Deuce, Grimes, and OG and Hart are flying around the court, and then they look up and there's 10 seconds on the shot clock with no set run, and then that goes on for like 5 minutes. The team scores no points, and then Jalen and Julius come back into the game, like you said, and it's just a wrap from there.
Yep. I think legitimately like they've been like exhausting teams, and that's how they've been able to like get these swings, which is it's a very weird quirk to see the Knicks go like, we're just gonna hang our hat on defense and lunch pail stuff, and we're just going to like beat teams to submission.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you watched like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but like that scene where they beat that dude up outside of the restaurant after he like, and then like some guy sips wine and he comes in and joins. Like that's legitimately how the Knicks play defense, where it's just like, we're just going to throw hands at you, or like the video where they're like fight back. Like that's legitimately the Knicks playing the fourth quarter. It's just fight back.
And it's super crazy because it's like it's just become a consistent thing now. Like as long as we're not down 20 points going into the fourth quarter, we're winning more often than not.
Yep. It's just hard to hate this team, man. This team is just so fun.
It's super hard not to be incredibly high on them either.
Yeah, like nothing feels unsustainable. It just kind of feels like Jalen Brunson is taking that leap that I think a lot of the organization thought he would take. Julius Randle's giving you solid production. Like from last year, he hasn't dipped off. And I'm saying solid, but like it's 24, 9, and 5. Yeah. Which is like, yeah, that's all-star level production. Fringe all NBA level production.
He'd probably be averaging like, I mean, I don't know if his counting stats would be better, but he'd be at like 60 true shooting if he didn't have that awful start to the year.
Yep. I think he's at 57 right now. So like the fact that he's at 57, it might have went up. I think it went up. Actually, no, probably went.
56.9 or yeah, 56.9.
Okay, yeah, so like he's at 57 true shooting, and I think without it, he was at 59.2 or something like that.
Yeah, I want to see. He had like a bad first 20 games. We'd say, right?
Yeah, I think like he had the numbers didn't stabilize until like mid-December.
Yeah. So since December, his true shooting's 59. So it's 61 since the beginning of December, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, and I feel like the three ball's been coming back around for him, which is really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think I commented this on the postgame the other day, and I think you said it's like because he's fully healthy again. I agree with that. I think it's fine as long as I don't want him near what he was doing last year. It was like the 8 threes a game. You'll obviously take the 8 threes a game on 33% from the field. Like decent efficiency on that high volume is good. But the way he's playing right now in the paint, with how controlled he's been, he's now starting to finally manipulate double teams and get defenses moving with his eyes and finding open guys. I haven't had a problem with a lot of his passes recently, especially out of doubles, and that's been super nice to see. Because as Knicks fans know, that's one of the biggest things he struggled with in his Knicks career.
Yep. I think he's been really good at manipulating defenses. I think he's also understanding coverages a lot more. Like a lot of his turnovers are from, first of all, offensive fouls, which are stupid. That should not count as a fucking turnover. I'm sorry. Like you could legitimately take away offensive fouls as a stat from counting turnovers. He'd probably be at like 2.6.
Yeah.
Like so many of his turnovers are just offensive fouls, but his live ball turnovers are not nearly as egregious as they were, let's say, 2 years ago. And he's still doing more as a passer. Like he's able to manipulate defenses. Like you saw that set with Josh Hart in the Brooklyn game where like they were in blind pig. And it's like he wasn't doing that last year, 2 years ago. Not even during the We Here year. He was just brute strength and like passing, but now he's like actually reading defenses and he's like anticipating and he's able to like do things that we haven't seen before as a passer. And it's like, how is he still like his improvement, even though he's about to be 30, is like that's why you get to look at someone like Bam and you're just disappointed because how the hell are you still the same player that you used to be?
How old is Julius now? 29?
29. He's about to be 29.
Like he's changed his game and improved starting at age 26, and Bam hasn't improved since like year 3.
Yep. Why is the only cultural touchstone Tyrese has ever seen JoJo's bizarre pitch?
You're lucky Schwinn isn't here.
God, bro.
I'm on one to rip you to shreds for media, but
it's JoJo's. Who hasn't watched JoJo's before? He dislocated his non-shooting shoulder. Don't know how it'll negatively affect shooting too much. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But I do think that it'll be... I think he'll be okay, though. I think it'll probably be like a month. Maybe a month at most. So,
by the way, we just blew out finals contenders in back-to-back games.
Oh, shit, we did.
Yep. No big deal. Just 30-piecing each of the previous finals guys. It's just special stuff. This team is incredible. And they haven't shown any signs of slowing down recently.
Yep.
And it's crazy how well they're playing consistently. I don't know the pace numbers, but I'm curious to see that. It feels like they've been playing a lot faster. Maybe that's just because the turnovers have been up. But the fact that they can just keep this type of game up for now 14 games since the OG trade it's just special, man. And even the losses were kind of... Are we counting the Pacers loss?
No.
Yeah. So one loss since the trade to the Mavs, which we should have won.
Yeah,
and we're just smacking teams for the most part.
Yeah, it's just been blowouts, and the close games are like still rock fights defensively. Like the defenses hold up, the offense has really good moments. The offense is getting better. There's another trade they're gonna make. It's just, yeah, I think the Knicks are solidly like contenders. I think they're the second best team in the East right now. I think we're better than the Sixers, and I think we're better than the Bucks. Yeah. The Bucks for sure. I don't trust Doc Rivers.
Yeah, no, Doc Rivers takes them like out of contention.
Like, I think the Knicks could get the 3 seed at the end of the year.
We could take the 3 seed by Monday, I think.
By all honest?
Because I think we're down 1.5 games now. It's either 1 or 1.5.
I can check the standings really quickly.
And if Denver beats them tonight, it's either a game or half a game.
Oh, it'll be a game.
Yeah. So and we play Charlotte on Monday.
Yep, and the Sixers play who?
I want to look at their schedule. I hope it's hard.
I don't think it's hard, but I do think that if Joel's hurt, then he's always hurt. But I wouldn't be surprised if they rested for Monday.
They have an insane 6-game stretch coming up in February post All-Star break, or beginning to after All-Star break. Cleveland, Miami, New York, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are the 3 seed by March, and I think they could be fighting for 2.
Well, thank God we weathered the storm in the first half of the season, because the schedule from the beginning of the year until like mid-December was absolutely brutal, and to come out of that above 500, and then we've just been killing we've been killing everybody actually, but especially taking care of business against the bad teams for the most part, and just letting guys get rest for the playoffs. We have a chance to do something special this year, man.
Yeah, I think honestly they could fight for the 2 seed.
What's Milwaukee's record?
Milwaukee's 31-14.
And we're 29-17?
Yes.
Yeah.
They could fight for the 2 seed.
I don't know, easily.
I'm looking at the Milwaukee schedule right now. They just lost to the Cavaliers yesterday. Bucks.
Oh, we're only 2.5 games back of them, though. Jeez. All right.
And it might be 2 after tonight.
Who do they play tonight?
They play the Pelicans.
Yeah, they could lose, especially if Zion plays. They could lose that game.
So the Pelicans, Nuggets, their next 2 games. And they have like a stretch coming up. They play the Suns, the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, the Heat, the Timberwolves again, the Sixers, and then they play the Clippers in March. Honestly, in March, it could be like a 3-team race for this 2 seed.
2 seed 1?
Yep. The Knicks could be 2 seed. The Knicks could honestly be the 2 seed by the end of the year, and it would not shock me.
No. I mean, imagine this team, but you just like have a good bench creator as well.
Yeah. And
that's really all there is to it.
Yeah. And honestly, if they had that good bench creator with this team to start the season,
we might be looking at like 30 wins, 33 wins, 32 wins.
Yeah, like those early games against the Celtics.
Oh my God. I need revenge on the Celtics so badly.
I don't think we play them for a bit, but
we
have one more game against them, I know for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, even without the bench player or the bench scorer, we've left so many winnable games on the schedule. Like just off the top of my head, obviously Boston opening night, we lost to Cleveland without Garland and Allen. The Booker game winning 3 without KD. The Celtics again, right? The second time we played them, or the third time, and then the Jazz game in Utah. I don't know if all those games are winnable, but if you imagine taking those types of losses and just turning them into wins because of how well we're playing now, you're looking at like a 53 win team.
Yeah. This team's going to easily clear 50 wins, by the way. Yeah. Like 50 wins is, I think it'll happen. So,
yeah.
Which is again, I expected 50 wins to start the season, but I didn't expect 50 wins like this.
Yeah. I thought that's a solid point. I thought we were a 51 team as well, but in hindsight, man, consolidating RJ and IQ for OG is probably one of the best moves Leon could have made.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the best teams any move could aside of training for a star level guy.
Aside for pulling Booker or something.
Yeah, it's probably the best move they could have made.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody else can keep that level of impact.
Yeah.
ESPN insinuating we should have pulled the starters in a 17-point game with 5 minutes left.
Do they know what's going on in the NBA recently?
Legitimately, did they not see the game where the Knicks were up 13 multiple times throughout the game and the Heat managed to come back and where a Jimmy Butler missed free throw away from taking the lead in the third quarter?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. The media coverage of the Knicks is just such fucking bullshit. I'm sorry.
Did they think that was a Tibbs thing? The Tibbs wasn't the one who stood underneath Julius Randle when he went to go up.
Whatever, man.
That's insane.
The day we get the media coverage we deserve is the day I can die happy.
I mean, they could win a championship, and it would still be like, well, they didn't win a championship because they didn't get Donovan Mitchell.
That's a Stephen A. thing.
If Donovan Mitchell would have been a Knick,
my Knick would have won the championship.
Yeah, so whatever happens with media coverage on this team, it's just not worth it.
We know how good the team is. That's really all that matters. And they can keep sleeping on us because we'll just keep smacking contenders. It is what it is.
And we're winning it all this year. So,
yep.
All right. Anything else we want to talk about?
I think we covered it. There wasn't, like I said, there wasn't really a ton to talk about.
Yeah, these are just horrible post games for us because it's just like, oh, the Knicks won. Jalen Brunson played really well. And
OG locked up. Julius was passing well. Bench is hitting shots. That's basically every game since the OG trade.
Yep. So that'll probably be it for us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for contributing. Knicks play again, I believe, Monday against the Hornets.
At 7.
7 for you East Coastern folks, 6 o'clock for me. So thank you guys for all the support, and we'll see you guys on Monday night.
Catch you guys.